Hi guys, it's Lori Youngdahl and it's springtime here in Arizona and the trees are blooming like crazy. So I wanted to give you what would be my top 10 tried and true tips for just sort of dealing with that whole seasonal change in order to support your body as you're going through this. The number one thing I would say is you have to look at some of the foods. This is not intuitive to a lot of people, because most people who have some sort of a food sensitivity, they kind of know that if I have this food or I have that food, this or that or the other thing happens. And I'm not talking about the itchy throat, anaphylactic type of things. I'm talking about the ones that take hours and sometimes days in order to show up. But you need to keep in mind that playing in the background, your body, your army is having to deal with that. And then in the middle of that, in comes blooming stuff. And your body's like, whoa, wait a second. I just sent the army off to go do something else. So if you're aware that you are sensitive to certain foods during the spring season or while things are blooming, it's a good idea to just really go out of your way the best as you can to avoid those foods. Your body will thank you that. Number two, this is a simple one, you guys. And a lot of people, it doesn't occur to them. I know that a lot of people think that they're drinking a lot of water, but hydration is one of the most important things that you can do in order to support your body during allergy season. There have been studies that show that if the body's dehydrated, that it sort of produces even higher histamine levels in the body. Who would think about that? So this is something that would be driving allergies. And by the way, those decongestants that you can find over the counter, they actually dry the body out. So that's another thing to keep in mind. So drinking lots of water, really staying hydrated is something that's important. And I just sort of fill up my big Kahuna water bottle, and I like to take it up a notch, and I'll add something like lemon vitality oil to it just to make it taste better, and it's got all the properties of the lemon. Or if you're really brave, one of my very favorite effective oils to use during the spring season in my water bottle is lavender, believe it or not. And actually the combination of lavender and lemon together, it's kind of interesting. So step out of your box, give it a try. Okay, then the third thing is, this is something that I know people who have heard about using Neti Pot Washes for years and they've never tried it themselves. And then when they describe to me what's going on with them, I'm like, have you tried a Neti Pot Wash? No, I've heard those, but that sounds weird. Doesn't it go up through your nose and out the other side? Well, yeah, that's exactly what it does. And I found, in fact, you can, if you're a Costco shopper, in our Costco here in Arizona, you can get a 2-pack of them. So you get 2 bottles and you get pretty much a lifetime supply of all of the salts that come with it, these little packets. And you pretty much just dump the packet in there, add warm water or, room temperature water. They're saying that you want to avoid using tap water. This is a little bonus tip for you, just because of all the gunk that can be found in tap water. So instead you want to use some purified or some filtered water for that. But I like to take it up a notch, you see, because the benefits of using the nasal wash, I mean, this has been studied and stuff. Basically what you're doing is you are hosing out your nose and your sinuses, and the purpose of doing that is there's mucus that can get stuck up in those little tiny crevices. And this is really effective for people who deal with chronic sinus issues or chronic infections and stuff, because the way that saline water will thin out the mucus, it sort of discourages bacteria from taking hold in those sinus cavities. So hosing it out on a regular basis. Now you can't do it like once a week during season and think that you've done a good job. For some people, while they're in the season, doing it every day, and sometimes they'll do it in the morning and then they'll do it again at night before they go to bed, is really helpful. I like to take everything up a notch because I will take about, 30 of those packages. I will add them to a canning jar, and then I will add my essential oils. And I have a little recipe that I came up with several years ago, and it's just very soothing. It feels good. It smells good. I just feel great after I've done this particular Neti Wash. And my recipe is, like I said, about 20 to 30 of the packets of the saline solution. And then I will add 5 drops of lavender, between 5 and 10 drops of the copaiba for its wonderful soothing properties, and 3 drops of a third oil. Now, the third oil is something that you can kind of use whatever you've got on hand. I lean toward, and any of these would work, so I'm just going to give you a list. You could use tea tree, the Melaleuca alternifolia. You could use Young Living's Melrose blend. That's a great, gentle blend to add to that. So again, this is 3 drops of that third oil. I have added rosemary before, very effective. I love that one. Or any of the eucalyptus oils are great. So RC or Eucalyptus globulus or Eucalyptus radiata, Eucalyptus blue, you get the idea of all the different things. You could even add frankincense in here. So let me give that to you one more time because I know people are going to message me about it. It's 5 lavender, 5 to 10 copaiba, and 3 of the third oil. And that was that list. You're going to have to rewind to get that. But then what I do is I add those oils, I sort of shake it up or stir it around with a popsicle stick, and now I'm ready to go every time I'm going to do my neti pot. And I just have a very special quarter. I think I figured out that one of these packages is approximately 1/8 of a teaspoon of the salt. So I just measure it out from there. If you want to make a hypertonic solution where it's super intense and it's really going to melt everything, all that mucus up in there, you could add 2 teaspoons of it. But I have been using this for over 11 years very effectively, my entire family. And if I can pick up my bottle that just dropped. One of the reasons why I prefer this is what I call the squeeze bottle, is because there's one that looks like a genie lamp and you have to kind of turn your face sideways, and honestly, it feels like you're being waterboarded. So that's why I don't like it. I find this one is super easy. You can even look at yourself in the mirror. You sort of stick this up in your nose and the water will run over the other side, and then I'll switch and I'll have it go the other side. One more tip. If you have a family, you don't all want to be using the same bottle. So what I will typically do is I'll take a Sharpie and I'll write Dad's, mine, one of the boys' names on there, just so that you can keep it separate. And one final tip on the neti pot, because it's an important one, is throw them out after you're through your season, because it's really difficult to properly get all these pieces and parts cleaned. So they're really inexpensive. Just dump them and move on to the next thing. Okay. Third tip for when things are going on in the springtime is MSM. And this is a supplement. This is a naturally occurring organic sulfur that's found in all living tissue in animals and plants. So you can get it through your food. If you ate only a raw food diet, you would get more of it in your diet, but it's really kind of hard to get the amount that you would need in order to have that super benefit for your health. And so taking it as a supplement is one of the easiest ways to get it, and it's really potent. The idea behind the MSM is, can you do it mid-season? Yes, you could. However, if you already know what your body does in the spring season when things start blooming, start taking it like a week before and just take it the whole time through. Take it until June or whenever your season in your area stops. And one of the best sources that we have in Young Living that has MSM, it's literally only 2 ingredients. It's MSM and then it's the Ningxia wolfberry, and that's our sulfurzyme supplement. And I use it all year round for a variety of health benefits. Honestly, once you start Googling MSM, and that's S with a super S, MSM, you're going to discover that there are all kinds of things in the body that it absolutely loves. Like your joints are going to love this. Your energy is going to love this. If you have a big party night, it's going to love this. So I just really like sulfurzyme. It's a good global supplement, and in particular, if you take it during your like the spring season, I think you're gonna find that your body's like, oh, thank you for that extra support. I really appreciate that. How much would you take? Well, I typically just go off of whatever it says on the bottle, and this is just it says 2 capsules, so I'll probably do that maybe 2 or 3 times a day. If I felt like I needed more, I'm going to take more, because I really believe in listening to your body. And MSM is one of those supplements that you can take ridiculous amounts of and still be completely safe. I've done my research on this, so it's a really good, safe supplement. Okay, here is another thing. The 5th thing for spring season, this is my honey that I make for the spring. and it's LLP honey. LLP stands for lavender, lemon, and peppermint. So again, canning jar, that's approximately a half a cup of a good raw organic honey. And because you don't want that kind that's been processed too much, because then you're not getting the benefits of the honey and all the health benefits it brings. So what I love to do is I like to marry something that's already got great benefits in with the essential oils, just like I did with the Neti Pot salts. So this recipe is 10-10-10. So it's 10 lavender, 10 lemon, and 10 peppermint. It tastes actually really good. So if you needed it, you could take just a spoon of it. You could take a spoon of that and mix it with a little bit of apple cider vinegar, a little bit of lemon juice, and some warm or some hot water, and sip on that. And it's, you know, you're getting all of the benefits of the apple cider vinegar, the honey, the lemon juice, and the hot water is of course great. The heat is good for sort of liquefying mucus sometimes when we've got it. So that's another thing that I like to do. Then the sixth thing is the combination that I was already talking about that's called LLP. Let me see if I can get these so that you can see them properly. And that's your lavender, lemon, and peppermint. And these are the vitality oils. So that means that they are labeled for taking them internally. And I know that I didn't mention that, but in the honey, of course, you put the vitality oils in there. And what you can do with these is you can put a couple of drops of each in a capsule with a little bit of carrier oil, and you can take that internally as a capsule, just as a dietary supplement. You can diffuse, so put maybe 2 or 3 drops of each oil in your diffuser and stick that next to your bedside and diffuse that overnight. Or maybe you want to keep it in an area where you tend to spend the most of your time. Another great way to use the LLP combination. I also have been known to create a little bit of a spray. Sometimes people will do that. I know people who will take a drop of each, rub it in the palms of their hands, and just breathe it in the moment, because that's something that's easy to do, and sometimes people carry that around in their purse. What else did I have on that? Oh yeah, my quickie tip. If you can't monkey around with 3 different separate oils, try one. You know how they say lavender, if you have no idea which oil would be the right oil in the right moment, try lavender, because it's almost always, it's like one of the smartest oils out there. It's almost always the right oil to use in any situation. So what I will do is, just to save time sometimes, I don't have time to make a capsule, so I'll just go like this. And I'll just do a drop of lavender under the tongue. Now, does it taste like I just took a bite of a lavender plant? I'm not gonna lie to you, it definitely does. But it's really not that bad. And what I love is what my body does when it senses that lavender's there. It's like, oh, hello, lavender, come on in. And it just makes everything so much easier, especially during the spring season. Okay, then the next thing is to, oh yeah, stress, you guys. Stress is a really big one. Did you know that stress can actually make your allergies even worse? You ever wonder why? Well, it's because stress creates inflammation in the body. And when we have that inflammation, that's going to make us even more hypersensitive to any allergens that might be in our environment. So yeah, stress can make your allergies worse. And notice my little diffuser necklace. I've got joy on there right now. So if you need to lower your stress by keeping your oils near you, that's another excuse to have your oils handy. Okay, the other thing that I like to do in our house is when you take a shower. Most people take a shower every day or right before bed, and very few people I know will take really cold showers, so at least there's some warmth to it. I like to take a drop or 2 or 3 of an essential oil like eucalyptus, or I'll take RC, raven, wintergreen, peppermint, something that's got one of those really strong, intense aromas to it. And I'll wipe a couple of those drops on the wall of the shower that's away from the shower spray. And then I will let it get a little bit steamy, and you're just in there, and that steam is going to pick up those oil molecules, and you're going to get to breathe that in. The combined moisture and the steam as well as the oils is fantastic. Your breath, your lungs, your respiratory system, your entire sinuses, everything. It's a great experience. It's so easy to do, and it can be doing it alongside something that you would already be doing. So it's an easy peasy one. The ninth thing is something that you want to, not that you want to do as much as it is something that you want to avoid. I talk a lot about pulling toxins out of the house. And there's a reason why we want to start pulling toxins out of the house. And it's just to make the body not have to work as hard as it has to work in order to get rid of garbage, in order to maintain health. So one of the things that in particular, while things are out there blooming and your body is being bombarded by environmental allergens and irritants, is really take those plugins out of the wall. Take a really good look at what you are cleaning your house with, because if it has an aroma to it and it's synthetically based, your body is reacting and responding and ingesting, not ingesting in meaning that you're breathing it in, it's getting into the lungs, which means it's getting into the bloodstream and into the brain everywhere. And so it's a good idea to reduce it, or maybe make this one the time of year that you absolutely are going to dump those toxic things and start using something a little bit more natural. And of course, I like to use the Thieves household cleaner. It's just a concentrate. It comes as a concentrate. I literally just pour a capful or two in a big spray bottle, and I clean my whole entire house with it. I mop my floor with it. I mean, I do everything. There's nothing in my house that I can't clean with that. And I love that it's just simple. It's one thing. I'm too busy. I like just simple. So watch that kind of thing. Your laundry soap. If your laundry soap is scented, that means you're breathing that in 24/7. You cannot get away from it. That's a constant irritant that your body's having to filter out and deal with. And so that's going to be weakening your body's ability to kind of defend itself when now these additional environmental irritants that are blooming are coming in. So another good case for swapping out that laundry detergent and going with something that's a lot more natural, that's not going to have a synthetically based aroma to it, or it has no aroma to it. So you're going to have to find what works best for you. Of course, I love the Thieves laundry soap. It's super potent and effective, and it's one of the best. I used to make my own laundry soap, and I thought that I'd always do it. So when Young Living came out with theirs, I was like, I'm already doing mine. You know, how good can theirs be? And then I got a bottle, and I was like, holy cow, this is so much better than anything I've ever made. And guess what? I don't have to do anymore. I don't have to make my laundry detergent. So I was really glad for that. So laundry detergent, if you're someone who loves perfumes, just stop using them, especially while everything's blooming out there. You're just gonna find that your body is really appreciative of having that break of, again, that extra layer of work that it's gonna have to do. I mentioned plugins, candles, anything synthetically based. You wanna start looking to swap it out or just really stop using it, especially while things are blooming. There are then the final thing is just what are some additional supplements that somebody could take while they are in the middle of the bloom season. And vitamin C is a big essential vitamin that you want to have while you're in this season. Where could you source that? We've got Super C, Ningxia Red's a great source of that. And of course, your foods, definitely try to eat a high vitamin C diet. And vitamin D is another important piece that could be helpful during allergy season. Where would you get that? Well, I mean, of course, get outdoors and get your vitamin D from sunshine. But through supplements, we've got it in Omega Giz, and we also have it in MindWise. So those are two other places to get it. And B vitamins can actually play a role. So you could try Super B or Master Formula. And just on a side note, everything that I mentioned actually is in the Master Formula vitamin. So it's just a good global vitamin. So I shared everything with you. The one thing that I just realized, I looked over at my table and saw this. You can buy one of these little spray bottles, and you can make yourself your own nasal spray. So the way that I do that is I don't put a full packet of the Neti Pot salts. Maybe I'll put a third of a packet in there, and I will add because this is a small container, I might add like 1 drop of lavender and maybe 1 drop of copaiba, and then just give that a really good shake, and then I've got a really great nasal spray. And you might want to get one for every member of the family, because sharing them across, probably not such a good idea. Plus, that's just gross. So those are the tips for dealing with the springtime. I hope you found that valuable. And if you have any questions for me, feel free to reach out and contact me.